The first time my hands started shaking, I thought it was stress. I was standing in the kitchen, holding a glass of water, when it slipped from my fingers and shattered on the floor. The sound echoed through the house, sharp and final, like an accusation. My sister looked up from her phone. "Seriously," she said. "You're being dramatic again." I bent down slowly, heart pounding, trying to steady my breath. My chest felt tight, like something heavy was sitting on it, pressing down just enough to remind me it was there. "I'm not being dramatic," I said. Something's wrong." She rolled her eyes. "You always say that." That sentence followed me everywhere. At dinner. In the car. At family gatherings. "You always say that." When the headache started, they said it was dehydration. When I lost weight without trying, they said I wasn't eating properly. When I started forgetting simple things. Names, dates, conversations, they laughed it off. "You Google too much," my mom said once. "You want attention," my uncle added another time. I stopped talking about it. Not because it got better. But because no one listened. Weeks passed. Then months. I learned how to hide it. How to smile when my vision blurred. How to excuse myself when my legs felt weak. How to pretend the exhaustion wasn't sinking into my bones like something permanent. One afternoon, I collapsed in the bathroom. Not fainted, collapsed. My body just gave up. I sat on the cold tile floor for a long time, back against the wall, staring at the door. My phone buzzed with a message from my mom. "Did you pick up groceries?" I typed back with trembling fingers. "I'm not okay. I think I need to see a doctor." The reply came fast. "Again? We talked about this. Stop overreacting." That night, at dinner, I tried one last time. "I'm scared," I said quietly. "I don't feel like myself anymore." My mom sighed, tired. "Not worried. You've always been sensitive," she said. "If we rushed to the doctor every time you felt off, we'd never leave the hospital." My sister laughed. "Exactly. You're fine." I looked around the table. No one met my eyes. That's when something inside me shifted, not anger, not sadness. Resignation. The next morning, I made the appointment myself. I didn't tell anyone. The clinic was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that makes you hear your own heartbeat. The doctor listened? Actually listened, as I described everything. He didn't interrupt. He didn't dismiss. He ordered tests. Blood work. Imaging. More questions. A week later, he called me back in. His face was serious before he even spoke. "We need to talk," he said. My stomach dropped. "There's something here," he continued. "And it's not in your head." I stared at him, my ears ringing. "It's real," he said gently. "And we should have caught it sooner." I left the clinic with a folder in my hands and a strange mix of emotions twisting in my chest. Fear. Relief. And something else. Validation. That evening, I walked into the house and placed the folder on the kitchen table. "What's that?" my mom asked. I looked at her. "It's proof," I said. I wasn't faking it. She didn't open it. Not yet. No one touched the folder for a long moment. It sat there between us like an object no one wanted responsibility for. My mom wiped her hands on a towel she didn't need. My sister leaned back against the counter, arms crossed tighter than before. "What is this supposed to be?" my sister finally asked. "A medical report," I said. "From an actual doctor." My mom sighed. Not relief. Not concern. Annoyance. "So you went behind our backs," she said. "Great." I felt my jaw tighten. "I went because no one would take me." She picked up the folder, flipped through the pages quickly, barely reading, then set it down again like it might burn her. "These things can be misleading," she said. "Doctors exaggerate to keep patients coming back." The words landed harder than I expected. "I collapsed," I said. "I couldn't stand. I couldn't think." "You've always been weak when you're stressed," my sister said flatly. "That doesn't mean you're sick." I looked at her. "The scans say otherwise." She shrugged. "Scans can be wrong." That was the moment I realized something important. They didn't want the truth. They wanted comfort. And the truth was inconvenient. The next few days blurred together. Appointments. More tests. Treatment plans explained slowly and carefully, like the doctors were afraid I might disappear if they spoke too fast. At home, nothing changed. No offers to drive me. No questions about medication. No apologies. Just distance. At dinner, my uncle joined us and glanced at the folder still sitting untouched on the counter. "What's that?" he asked. "Drama," my sister replied before I could answer. I stood up without saying a word and went to my room. Lying in bed that night, I stared at the ceiling, listening to laughter from the living room. A show was on. Something light. Something funny. I pressed my palm against my chest and focused on breathing. "You're not imagining this," I told myself. The doctors called again the following week. "We need to start treatment immediately," they said. Delaying further could cause permanent damage. I hung up and walked into the kitchen. "They want to start treatment," I said. "Soon." My mom didn't look up from her phone. "We'll see." "We'll see what?" I asked. "We'll see if it's really necessary," she replied. "I don't want you putting ideas in your head." Ideas. As if this were a hobby. I nodded slowly. "Okay." That was the last time I asked for permission. I arranged everything myself. Insurance. Transport. Medication schedules. Follow-up appointments. I learned words I never wanted to learn and routines I never planned to have. I stopped telling them where I was going. They noticed when I came home tired. Pale. Quieter than usual. "You look awful," my sister commented one night. "I'm getting treated," I replied. She laughed. "For what?" "Your imagination." I didn't answer. Then came the call that changed everything. I was at the clinic, sitting in a small room with neutral-colored walls, when my doctor walked in holding a thick envelope. "This is the finalized report," he said. "All confirmations included." He placed it in front of me. "This is serious," he continued. "And documented. There's no ambiguity here." I nodded, my throat tight. "Do you want us to send this to your emergency contacts?" he asked. "Yes," I said. I gave him their numbers. That evening, my phone started ringing non-stop. My mom called first. "Why is the hospital calling us?" she demanded. I took a breath. "Because it's real." There was silence on the line. Then my sister called. Her voice wasn't mocking anymore. "Why didn't you tell us it was this bad?" she asked. I closed my eyes. "I did," I said. "They just hadn't believed me." And now, for the first time, doubt was turning into something else. Fear. They arrived together the next morning. That alone told me something had changed. My mom stood at the door holding her purse with both hands, knuckles tight. My sister stayed half a step behind her, eyes fixed on the floor. Neither of them looked angry. Neither of them looked dismissive. They looked uncertain. I stepped aside without saying anything and let them in. The house felt different with them standing there. Smaller. Heavier. Like the walls were listening. My mom spoke first. "The hospital sent us the report." I nodded. I know. She took a deep breath. They said it's not stress. No, I replied. It never was. My sister finally looked up. Her voice was quieter than I'd ever heard it. They said you've been dealing with this for months. Yes. And that waiting made it worse. Yes. Silence stretched between us again, but this time it wasn't dismissive silence. It was uncomfortable. Guilty. My mom opened her purse and pulled out the printed report. She held it like something fragile. I read every page, she said. Every test. Every note. I didn't respond. I didn't know, she continued, her voice breaking slightly. I thought you were just overwhelmed. I met her eyes. You thought I was lying. She flinched. My sister swallowed hard. We didn't think you'd make something like this up, she said. We just didn't think it was serious. That's the same thing, I replied. They both looked down. My mom stepped closer. We should have listened. Yes, I said simply. She reached out, hesitated, then let her hand fall back to her side. I'm scared now, she admitted. The doctor said there could be long-term effects. There could have been, I corrected. If I'd waited longer. Her eyes filled with tears. I failed you. I didn't comfort her. Not because I wanted revenge. But because honesty deserved space. I'm getting treated, I said. I'm managing. I don't need panic. I need respect. My sister nodded quickly. Tell us what to do. I shook my head. That's not how this works anymore. They froze. I spent months telling you something was wrong, I continued. You told me I was dramatic. Weak. Imagining things. My sister's shoulders dropped. I'm sorry. I believe you, I said. But apologies don't erase patterns. My mom wiped her face. We want to help now. I know, I replied. But help doesn't undo abandonment. That word landed hard. Abandonment. Neither of them argued. I won't beg anymore, I said. I won't explain my pain to people who've already decided how much of it counts. My mom nodded slowly. What do you want from us? I thought about it for a moment. Consistency, I said. And space. They exchanged a glance. I'll call you, I added. When I'm ready. Not because I'm sick. Because I choose to. My sister stepped forward. We'll be here. I hope so, I said. But I won't depend on it. They left shortly after. No hugs. No dramatic goodbye. Just a quiet understanding that something had permanently shifted. That afternoon, I sat alone by the window, sunlight warming my face. My phone buzzed once. A message from my mom. We're proud of you for taking care of yourself. I read it. Then I set the phone down. Healing isn't about being proven right. It's about learning who deserves access to you when you're vulnerable. I had my diagnosis. I had my treatment. And finally, I had my truth. They couldn't laugh anymore. Because the medical report spoke for itself.